Namaste. Welcome you all for the classes on meditation. This is the 36th in the series. We are following the methodology as enunciated by sage Patanjali. Patanjali says the root cause of all sufferings is avidya, ignorance. It is the adhima klesha. And we are trying to contemplate on what is this avidya and how to internalize this so-called tranquility of the mind in the light of this avidya. How to get rid of avidya, that is the main thing. So today we will try to look at the components of avidya, and in that we will try to analyze what is Anitya, because Patanjali says we get often confused between Anitya and Nitya. We need to know what is Nitya and Anitya. So this is a very, very fundamental cause for avidya. We shall try to contemplate on this aspect in this class. Before that, be seated upright. We will chant the sacred word Om 3 times. Sit upright. You may sit on a chair also if you cannot sit on the floor. If you are sitting on the floor, sit at a little height, but ensure that your trunk is kept upright. Gently close your eyes. Have complete musculoskeletal awareness. Watch your breathing. Now we will chant Om 3 times and get completely involved. Feel the vibrations of the word Om in and through your body. Inhale. Watch the inner calmness. Now gently open your eyes. So one of the components of Avidya, now Patanjali defines 4 dimensions or 4 components. Anitya, Ashuchi, Dukkha, Anatmasu, Nitya Shuchi Sukha, Atma Kyatir Avidya. We mistake Anitya to be Nitya, Ashuchi to Shuchi, Dukkha to Sukha, Anatma to Atma. That mistaken identity is called Avidya, which is the root cause of all sufferings. So let us look at an analysis of Anitya. How do you decide what is Anitya? First is Karana. Anything that you have, first examine whether it has a cause. Number 2 is Avayava, whether it is made up of parts. Then Drishya. Drishya means whether it is seen. Actually, the general meaning of this is it available to senses for perception? Then Utpatti Nasha, whether it has beginning and an end. So if the answer is yes to any of these, then that object is taken to be Anitya. Anitya means it is temporary, it is not permanent. It is temporary means it is not worth struggling with it. Okay? So you go somewhere outside to some place, you stay in a place, maybe a hotel, maybe you are going to stay only one day, let us imagine, or maybe one night, but the room is not all that good, whatever your cot or bed is not all that good, and maybe other facilities are not good, then, well, you may not be comfortable, but you don't bother too much because, okay, only one night, let us adjust and get going. So that is why, because we know it is temporary, that is why we don't bother. So this analysis of Anitya is very important. Let us take any example and look at these 4 aspects: Karana, Avayava, Drishya, Utpatti, Nasha. We can take any example. Now, gently close your eyes. Carefully contemplate. We'll take very familiar one, what we are very fond of, namely this body and whatever relations or whatever or whomever we think we are attached. For example, this body, first is Karana. Is there a cause? Obviously, the answer is yes. Our parents are the cause for this body. Avayava, is there parts? Yes, it has different parts. And no doubt. Drishya. Can you perceive this? Very much. We can see the body, we can smell, we can touch, all that is yes. And the last one, Utpatti Nasha. Does it has a beginning and an end? Oh, the answer is yes. It has a date of birth, and because it has date of birth, it shall also have date of death. So for all this the answer is yes, which means this is Anitya. What is the problem? Problem is we think that this is Nitya. We think that this is permanent, and therefore we suffer. Any small variation in health, we lose the peace of mind, the inner calmness is gone. All right. Take any relationship, wife, husband, children, grandchildren, etc. Karana. Does it have a cause? Yes. Like this body, those bodies also have their parents as the cause. For example, for our children, we are the cause, etc. Avayava, are they made up of parts? Yes, of course. Then drishya. Can you perceive them? Absolutely, yes. We can see them, feel them. Utpatti nasha. Obviously, yes, because all of them also have something called date of birth, and they shall have something called date of death. Therefore, Anitya. But we get attached. any variations in these relationships or any problems to them, we lose our inner tranquility. And therefore we suffer. Please note, it does not mean that we are not sensitive to others' feelings, difficulties. That's a different issue. So I must examine purely from the dimension of Avidya. Just contemplate on these things. Then take anything. Our positions, possessions, maybe the bungalows or houses we are attached. The vehicles, whatever you take, all your possessions, does it as a cause? As obviously it did not exist. This building did not exist. It was built. So there is a cause. It has avayava made up of parts. Then drishya. Is it amenable to organs of perception? Yes. One can see it, touch it, etc. Steadily contemplate on this. Then utpatti nasha. Yes. Date of construction is there, and obviously date of destruction shall be there. There is no permanent building or permanent vehicle. In time is going to go away, wither away. Please contemplate on this. Like that, you take any object, in this world, you will find that there is a cause behind this, which means it did not always exist. That's the important thing. And then all of them have parts. They are made up of some parts. Which means what? They are not whole. They are divisible, not indivisible. You may talk of some thing very small, whatever. They are all ultimately made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. So that is the analysis. Which means you can divide them, which means they are not whole, they are not indivisible, then they can all be perceived from the organs of perceptions. Some of them you can see and perceive, some of them you can touch, some of them you can smell, some of them you can taste, some of them you can hear through your ears and detect. Which means they are not beyond the organs of perception. Then Utpatti Nasha. All of them did not always exist, so they were made. Utpatti. And because it has come, obviously it will go, Nasha. Which means it is not Avinashi. And you can just check with anything that we are attached, with anything that is bothering our mind. The answer to these four aspects is yes, 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 and therefore they are Anitya. So our attempt should be to find what is Nitya. What is it in us? What is it everywhere? That is Nitya, which means it should not have any cause. There is no Karana. It is absolute. There is no divisibility there. Avayava, it is indivisible. Drishya, no, it cannot be perceived by the organs of perception. Utpatti Nasha, it is neither born nor it is going to be dead. What is that Nitya? So that inquiry we should have. So when we drop all our attachments, labeling them as Anitya, then Nitya becomes self-evident. There is something in us which we cannot deny as Anitya. And that is our real self. You have to steadily contemplate on this. And to begin with, you must just check if something is bothering or disturbing the tranquility of the mind. We should ask a fundamental question: is it Nitya or Anitya? soon we can find out that they are all Anitya. And if it is Anitya, that is temporary, and we should get convinced that there is no use of bothering about temporary things, because anyway temporary, they come and go. So this we have to develop that discrimination between Anitya and Nitya. For that, we should first learn to identify the Anityas. And if we identify the Anityas, Nitya becomes self-evident. There is no special effort needed for Nitya, because that is our true nature. It is only the misidentification with Anityas that is causing problem. That is why we are not able to see what is Nitya. So on Nitya, there is that wheel of Anitya getting covered, the dust, the impurity of Anitya, and by contemplation on Anitya, we can simply discard them. That's it. Nitya becomes self-evident. So contemplate on these things. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। हरिः ओम्। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शुभमस्तु।